What is happening? See you here and welcome back to a new tactics testing video. And today we have the Great Underdog Wall by Josh Daly. Will it stack up against the rest? Will I be kicked out of third place? Let's jump into the tactic, see what it looks like, and ultimately see how well it does when we test it. So here we are. And as you can see, it is a 5-3-2. We're going to start off at the bottom with a sweeper keeper on support. As you can see, he has got tackle harder on the instructions. And then in front of him, we have a back line of 3 defenders. We have a ball-playing defender on defend, a central defender on defend, and another ball-playing defender on defend. They both have tackle harder and dribble more as their player instructions. We have 2 wing-backs, both on attack, cross aim centre and stay wider. Staying for both sides there. And then in the middle, this is where it gets interesting. We have a Mazzala on attack, a deep line playmaker on defend. So that means he will defend and just spray passes around. Think Calvin Phillips, Bielsa-ish. We also have a box-to-box midfielder on support. The box-to-box midfielder tackle harder, move into channels and get further forward. The Mazzala has to dribble more, and the deep line playmaker has no instructions on him there. Up top, we have a deep line forward on support alongside an advanced forward on attack who is tackling harder, dribbling more often and shooting more often. We have a positive mentality. We are in possession, passing into space, hitting early crosses, making those crosses low, running at the defence, overlapping both left and right with a higher tempo and a fairly wide width. In transition, we are rolling it out. We are distributing quickly. We are counter and counter pressing. In out of possession, we have a high press, pressing much more often. We're stepping up more and preventing that short goalkeeper distribution that I can never say because I am from the north and I cannot talk English. But that is the tactic. Let's jump in and see how we got on with Leeds. Will it be a good one? I'm hoping so, because I do actually like this guy. He does very, very good videos, so go check him out. So here we are with Leeds. We finish in 14th place with 38 points, 1 point ahead of Crystal Palace and 1 place better than the season preview. But how do we do in the competitions? We won the Friendly Cup. We're making a habit of this now. But unfortunately, the 4th round of the FA Cup and the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup. Arsenal, you would be getting beaten by Arsenal. But Aston Villa is one of the ones where it could go either way, unfortunately. But let's have a look at the run in the FA Cup first of all, because I'm fancying a change to the Carabao. That's what happened there. In the 3rd round of the FA Cup, a 4-0 win at home against Sheffield United. I'm taking out the Yorkshire fans will be buzzing with that result. And then unfortunately a 3-1 loss away from home. So the wall didn't work on this occasion because we conceded 3. But it's okay. These things happen in the cup. It is obviously a one-off game. In the Carabao Cup, the 1st round we're in was the 2nd, and we beat Newcastle 2-1 with Rodrigo and Mark Rocker. In the 3rd round, we lost on penalties. I mean, who is he? Facundo Crispsigi. I'm butchering this. Scores their goal in the 47th minute to take it to penalties, and unfortunately they lose out in that case. So the Prem, I mean, I see a lot of reds here. It's one of them where you'll win it. If you win random games in the Prem, it just works. Opening day of the season, they drew with Man City 1-1. Mateus Click with that goal. They didn't pick up their first win until the 10th of September. They went on a nice little run, beating Brighton, Southampton and Aston Villa. They have actually got scalps of Arsenal here, 3-2, but lost 5-1 to Everton. Beat Chelsea. I hope we do it at the weekend because I would be buzzing there. Beat Chelsea twice, a 4-3 there. I would do anything to beat Chelsea twice this season. But after that, you know, lose it to United, lose it to Liverpool again, draw with Arsenal. And then a nice little run there to finish the season, you know. 5 points at the end of the season is lovely to see. But let's have a look at the thing. If we've got any top goal scorers. Jamie Vardy equaling Erling Haaland. 36-year-old Jamie Vardy and 22-year-old Haaland. Sinisterra in 11th with 13 goals. That is all. The only person we have there is Sinisterra, which is odd. I thought we'd have Bamford or Rodrigo, but, you know, it is what it is. Nobody in the average ratings. And assists, we have absolutely not a soul. So that's good. That's, yeah. I expected more than that. If you have a look at the squad, where did our goals come from this season? We have Sinisterra at the top with 17, 11 for Rodrigo. He played 41 games. He had 11 in 41. That is a shambles. Bamford, 25 sub appearances, got 4. Click with 3 and Aronson with 2. Average rate, we've only got 2 in a 7. And then he's 0.1 off. Like, Drama is 0.1 off. I mean, he only played 10 games from the bench. That isn't... It's a bit damning, that, to be perfectly honest with you. But we take it. We have 38 points. We put them in the kitty and we head over to Hull to see how they got on. And here we are at Hull, and third place with 88 points. We put the 88 points in the kitty, and let's deep dive into how they've done. Estupiñán with 29 goals. We've seen him score more, but ultimately it wasn't the case today. We got the second round of the Carabao Cup and the fourth round of the FA Cup. Barnsley defeating us is an absolute stinker. FA Cup. We played Sunderland, took 2 legs, we drew 1-1 away from home and then beat them 1-0 at home. I've noticed this isn't a very high scoring affair. And obviously the 4-3 Leeds-Chelsea game was a bit of an outlier. If loads of goals are scored, it is usually against us, so okay. But a 2-1 loss against Premier League Southampton. I mean, where did Southampton finish in the Premier League is the question. Championship Southampton now. Ultimately not the best, but we'll take it. If we go over to the Carabao, and this is where we ultimately got a bit disappointed here. 1-0 win against Morecambe isn't the best either, to be fair. They're a very poor side, Morecambe. And then Devante Cole, 63rd minute goal, and knocks us out of the Carabao Cup at Oakwell. That is not a bit disappointing. That's an absolute disgrace. But if we look at the league, we started off flying 5-0 Bristol, 2-0 Preston before coming back down to earth fairly sharply at Norwich, West Brom, and even losing to QPR, who are an absolute turmoil. Absolute free fall in real life. But after that, a win against Sheffield United, and we've beaten quite decent teams, beating Blackburn, smashed Borough 4-0 in what is kind of a derby. It's not, but it kind of is, I guess. 4-0 loss to Blackburn. We had some decent wins, a 4-1, a 4-3. Losing to Reading here. Did we beat Norwich? And we got battered by Norwich on the return leg. Oh my days. Then ultimately the playoffs, where we played Sunderland in 2 legs again and went out 2-1. Not even scoring at home. Let's have a look at this game. We'll be miles off. We must be miles off. I mean, we an XG of 1.54. Be interesting to see in the league the XG stat, to be fair. We've got XG table. We had plus 12 goals to what was expected and 2 more conceded. If you take those 2 goals off, I would get to Sunderland. 13 more points than expected. So we are overachieving. We've greatly overachieved this season, which is... It's good. It is what it is. Goal sense, we have second place Estupiñán with 29. We have Sabda in 12th with 17. Look at the average rating. Will you on here? I mean, we're not. It'll be interesting to see what the average ratings are actually compared to Leeds, who really did struggle, but they're in a higher league with the worst team. 8. We have 8 for Vale and 8 for Tufan, joint 13th there. But I really want to see the crack with this. We have quite a few actually. Quite a few over the thing. We have 7 over 7, which is brilliant to see. A bit shocking considering we weren't in the average ratings. A bit weird, but we'll take it. Look at goals. We have 29 for Estupiñán, 20 for Sabda and 6 for Seri. And assists 9 for Tufan, 8 for Vale, and 7 for Seri. Overall, it's a successful season for Hull, I think. Very unfortunate to go up. Obviously, Sunderland ended up winning in the playoff final. If you look who they beat there. They beat QPR on penalties. Another penalties, Jesus. But let's get over to Bromley, see how they got on, and see how many more points we can add to this tally. Here we are at Bromley, 5th place finish with 79 points. Michael Cheek is absolutely flying with this formation. Obviously, I always say this, with the 5-3-2s, it's always Bromley and Hull that should do better because the team just seems to be made for it, whereas Leeds isn't. it just isn't. If we go to competitions, I mean, we must have been in the playoffs here. We must have been. Playoffs first round, we beat Wrexham finally. Out in the semi-finals, 3-0 at Yeovil, so that's a bit of a stinker. But in the playoffs of that, first round of the FA Cup and third round of the FA Trophy. So I want to have a look first at the FA Trophy to see exactly why this isn't working. We drew 1-1 away from home, but then unfortunately on the return leg we lose 2-0, which Aldershot obviously are in our league. Where did Aldershot finish in the league? They finished champions. It's completely understand. I understand that then. Fair enough. We will not go any further. They've had a hell of a season. They just seemed to beat us when it mattered. Hungerford 3-0 in the FA Cup 4th qualifying round, then a very narrow 3-2 loss. I mean, we took the lead. We took the lead twice, and ultimately they pegged us back and got an extra one. Oxford obviously higher up. They're in League One. They need to be beating us. They need to be beating us, and they did. So fair play to them. If you look at the schedule, we also want to look at the Vanarama National. I want to see the Aldershot games. So we drew them here in the league. And where do we play them again? We must have played them once more. We drew them again. Like, look at this. This is where it works. You've seen very consistent results. You've seen a lot of wins, a lot of draws. And if they're losing 1-0, 2-1, 2-1. Their outlier 3-1, another outlier 4-0, 3-1, 2-0. I mean, it's narrow margins, majority of it. Ultimately leading to, I mean, that's Yeovil again there. Yeovil beat 3-1. They had the 4-0 as well, didn't they? I'm sure they did. Where was the 4-0? That was Scunthorpe. But beating Wrexham in the playoff first round 2-1 and then succumbing away from home to a 3-0 loss to Yeovil. I mean, it is what it is. That's what happens, unfortunately. That's what happens. Unlucky to Bromley. Chesterfield win on penalties, succumbing Yeovil to another season in the Vanarama National. But I'm quite happy with this, you know. I'm quite happy with this. If you look at the stats for the league, in the goals, third place Lewis Denny with 27, fourth place Michael Cheek with 26. So Louis Denny sneaking in there, something you love to see. Average rating, so Wumley is 16 with 7.24. By the way, I need to sign him on a save. I always say this, but he looks like such a good player in that defensive role. Joint at 6th, Forster and Bingham with 10 apiece, and Reece Hannum down there with 8 in 18th. I need to know about this because there's always the two players that score loads. It is, if I look at the squad, it's always George Alexander and Michael Cheek. So Michael Cheek with 29 this season, Lewis Dennis with 28, George Alexander's only got 6. I mean, he's had 32 appearances off the bench, so he's had enough games though. He has played enough games to be scoring more, so it's not a good season for him. Assists, we have 10 for Bingham, 10 for Forster, 9 for Hannum, and 6 for Cheek, Coleman, and Lewis Dennis. And in average ratings, we have a total of 5 of them. So, as I said, it does work better with this a lot. But we have 79 points for Bromley, which gives us a total of we have 79 points for Bromley, gives us a total of 68 altogether. It does not break the top 3. It is actually lower than the last 5-3-2 by Josh Daly. But it has, this is one of the ones that I was promised, because you can see the results, especially for Bromley. You can see the results where you're only losing by 1, and if you have slightly better players better suited to those roles, you really see this flourish. But thank you for watching, guys. I have been Sia. This has been a Tactics League. Like, subscribe, comment down below if you have a tactic you want me to test out. Get yourself on that board, see if you can make the top 3. But stay safe, guys. I'll see you next time.